Good morning to students. Today we would like to discuss about the second lesson under unit number 1. The topic is evaluation of management thought or approaches or theories of management or history of management. What is the meaning of a evaluation of management thought or approaches to management? Management is the oldest concept and a philosophy which was not born yesterday or today. It was born so many years. The evaluation of management is across so many stages to study at the present situation. The total evaluation has broken down into 4 stages. A picture what I have given here, what is the evaluation of management? This is traditional, next improved, next which will goes to improve. Today in modern management like that. This is a common picture what I have given to get the better understanding regarding to management. Now, the origin of evolution management can be traced back to the days when man started living in groups. That means it is not born yesterday. It was born when the civilization was started. That is the reason in the picture what I have given this type of man position. Generally, some people have said the management was born when the social groups were born in society. The first social group is family. Yes, family is inculcated or involved management thoughts, management activities. Why? Because father is a manager, mother is a sub-manager, all children are members. This is a first social group on the universe. That is, history reveals that strong men organized the masses into groups according to their intelligence, physical and mental capabilities. Management in some form of or the other has been practiced in the various parts of the world since the dawn of civilization. Yes, the management was started at civilization. That means from man, what is his movement, what is his development. According to man development, background of the human beings, the management can also develop still now. This can be based on, that means the evaluation, the development of the management from time to time is based on knowledge, experience, intelligence, mental conditions, talent, improvement of the human capabilities, understanding capabilities, environmental situations, all are supported to development of the management. This is a picture. This figure explains evolution of various thoughts, management thoughts, approaches to management. Basically, the total evaluation or history of management was studied with basic 4 eras. That means 4 areas. The first era, pre-scientific approach. Second, classical approach or era. Neoclassical approach or era. Modern approach or era. Let us go to see here. Classical approach. You will go to study 3 different areas: scientific management, administrative management, bureaucratic management. Neoclassical approach or era, you will go to study it in 2 areas: human relations, behavioral science. Modern approach, we will go to study the history of management with 5 areas: quantitative approach, systems approach, contingency approach, IT approach, universal approach. This is a chart which is very much useful to know the brief idea regarding to stages, approaches of management, or histories of management, or eras of management. Let us go to discuss one after another. The first one, pre-scientific management approach. That means it is the beginning of the management stage. Here, a industries was developed with reference to a cottage industries, small industries. That means industrial revolution was started in this era. Each and every aspect is very much limited to organization and as well as members only. There is no more touch with the broad external areas, external environment. The production is only limited to meet the local demand. Pre-scientific approach, that means before 1880, there is no any improvement in the management. Why? Because industries and business are in the beginning stage. So here the talent is only limited. Why? Because there is no academic excellence, there is no any study, or there is no any learning path towards what is going in industries and business. That is, the advent of industrial revolution in the middle of 18th century had its impact on management. That means industrial revolution was made in at middle of 18th century. This is a one central point regarding to pre-scientific management approach. That means industrial revolution brought about a complete change in the methods of production, tools and equipments, organization of labor and methods of raising capital. Where in this stage it is a beginning to start the some methods of production. That means how to do the production with reference to methods consisting of certain policies. It is just started. Tools, equipments and also organization of labor. That means skilled, semi-skilled and unskilled. This was also started in this era. Methods of raising capital. That means how to make the investment in the industries, in the business. These are all are just started in this era. That means before 1880. There is no any multi-production universities or industries. The units or business or industries are only a small and medium range. The production is only limited to local and extent of a few non-local. That is, during the period, the industrial revolution, certain pioneers tried to challenge us by new ideas. In this era, the new ideas can also just started to meet the challenges, organizational challenges. When the organization was started, it is automatically create a problem. Immediately, it is a chance how to resolve the problem. In this stage, a thinking was started how to resolve the organizational challenges. This is known as first era pre-scientific management approach before 1880. Let us go to second era or second approach called as classical or traditional approach between 1880 to 1930. Classical era or traditional era means which is having a rules and regulations, how to making of a certain rules and also better policies and also a scientific approach, systematic approach, technical involvement, technical assessment. These all are involved or inculcated in second era. Why? Because during this era, a First World War was happened. During the First World War, where the countries has given a importance for new and innovative technical approaches. That is the chance of classical or traditional era. That means the traditional system was completely making into kept aside and replaced by important technical applications. That is, The classical approach is the oldest formal approach of management thought. Its roots predate the 20th century. During this period, stalwarts like F.W. Taylor, H.L. Gant, Emerson, Frank and Lillian, Gilbert, etc. laid the foundation of classical management, which in due course come to be known as scientific management. In this era, a scientific management concept was introduced by F.W. Taylor. What I said here, H.L. Gant, Emerson, etc., these economists or founders are supported to classical approach. Next, components or elements of classical approach. What are the grounds of classical approach? There are three grounds of classical approach. The first one is scientific management. It was introduced by F.W. Taylor, Winslow Taylor. That means, according to him, the work is completely devoted with reference to technical involvement. That means, science and technology to be implemented for modifying and development of the productivity and usage of resources called as land, labor, capital and organization. The traditional thumb rule is kept aside. Why? Because how much time is spent in the organization is immaterial. There is a productivity has taken into consideration if you want to go to elevate and also give the opportunity for the laborers. That is, Frederick Winslow Taylor is known as the father of scientific management. Scientific management is a theory of management that analyzes and synthesizes workflows with the objective of improving labor productivity. That means the main aim of scientific management is improving the labor productivity by the application of latest and science and technical methods, policies, rules, regulations and procedures, schedules. The traditional concept is kept aside. There is no value by estimation of any productivity or execution of any operation. Additionally, traditional rules of thumb are replaced by precise procedures. That means before classical management, that means in pre-scientific management, a thumb rule is taken into consideration. That means how much time he has spent in the organization. This was completely replaced by F.W. Taylor. It is not at all important. The importance is precise procedure to develop after careful study of individual at work. That means standardization of work has given importance. That means rules, activities, discipline, the rule of managers and the business hierarchy. These all are included or introduced by scientific management. It is a gift of F.W. Taylor. According to his opinion, work is going on a certain principles. That is, number one, coordination. Number two, technical advancement. Number three, communication. Number four, standardization and actuality. Number five, deviation. Number six, productivity and efficiency. Number seven, improvement of intellectual qualities. Number eight, technology and implementation. These are all taken over by the scientific management. Under scientific management, the second component is administrative management. Under this era, how to maintaining the organization has given a importance. Focus on process, principles, standardizations, hierarchical positions, employee and employer relations, workers' participation in management, and interaction between the management and workers, implementation of better policies, procedures, acts, rules, regulations. These are all comes under the meaning of a administrative management. This is also involved in scientific management. That is, administrative management focus on the management process and the principles of management, which deals largely with jobs and work at the individual level of analysis. Administrative management provides a more general theory of management. That means how to execute the operation with a successful manner to eliminate the ideal time and as well as the wastage. That means unnecessary movements are prevented or regulated with implementation of the administrative management. Here, Henry Fayol is the better contributor regarding to the administrative management. He contribute approach. This deals mainly with jobs and work at individual security and scrutiny as technical, financial, commercial, accounting and management. That means here the administrative management is completely depending on job and work with relation to security, scrutiny, technical, financial, commercial, accounting, safety, welfare, social, affiliation, recognition, all are depending on the job and work at individual level as well as the group level. Otherwise, we are not able to get the group spirit. The group spirit is very much important to obtain a predetermined task or predetermined output from the workers. The third component of scientific management is bureaucratic management. Bureaucratic means this is the capitalist management. That means the industries are maintained by some individuals, owned by themselves, consisting of their own investment of capital. They are the owners, they are the managers, they are the complete rights which is having by one unit. All members are working as employees. This is called bureaucratic management. That means the government is not at all involved. That is, bureaucratic management denotes to a perfect type of organization. Principles of bureaucracy include clearly defined and specified functions, use legal authority, hierarchical form, written rule and procedure, technically trained bureaucrats appointed to positions based on technical experience, promotions based on competence and clearly defined career paths. That means here, bureaucratic management, the private individuals are having their own involvement. Here, certain principles or procedure to be involved. That is authority, responsibility, delegation, decentralization, technology, procedures, training and appointment of positions with reference to their knowledge, skill, expertise, promotions, competence. These are all are clearly defined in bureaucratic management. Why? Because individual management. That means private management. Private individuals are owners where they are enjoying total rights. So they will be goes to introduce their own policies to the sake of organization. Weber proposed that a form of organization called as bureaucracy. Weber was introduced a bureaucracy concept characterized by division of labor, hierarchy, formalized rules, impersonality and the selection and promotion of employees based on ability. Weber has proposed a capitalist management system. That means private individuals are taking a initiative, they are characterized. That means with reference to division of labor, hierarchy, formalized rules, impositions, integrations, establishment, initiative, rules, regulations, aspirations, decisions and making of a goal setting. These all are comes within the hands of the bureaucratics. Let us go to third era, third approach of management, that is neoclassical theory or behavioral theory between 1930 and 1950. This is the one step improvement in management. Whenever in the second approach, that is called classical approach, the man is or the worker is using as a machine. There is no importance is individual and as well as the group interest. There is no importance for his life and job security. There is no importance of his interest. There is no importance of security and welfare, which leads to development of a behavioral theory, behavioral approach or behavioral era. In this era, the managers are owners has given or industries, business persons are given importance for the behavior of the employees in an organization. That means attitude, that means their movements, their motions and their aspirations regarding to one work. What is his attitude in the business premises? How he will be goes to motivated? What are the reasons against what he was disappointed regarding to one activity? These all are analyzed in this era between 1930 to 1950, that is nearly 20 years. After First World War, this was in Second World War. We will go to analyze neoclassical theory or behavioral theory with two major aspects. The first one is human relations. Whenever the attitude has given importance in this era, immediately the owners and the management has given importance for maintaining the human relations. That means better network structure, framework structure. That means human relations between among the peoples, which includes relations between employee and employee, relations between employer and employee, relations between superior and subordinate, relations between the horizontal position among the departmental officers, managers, etc. Why? Because the output is a team spirit, group result. So, human relations has given importance in this era. That is, human relations as an era of management practice is the integration of people into a work situation in a way that motivates them to work together productively, cooperatively and with economic, psychological and social satisfaction. So here, if work is allotted or devoted and given to a worker on the basis of his talent, his experience, his past rate of productivity, cooperation, coordination, a team was established with reference to economic, psychological and social satisfaction of the people's opinions. These are all taken into consideration while maintaining the human relations in an organization. It is one of the component in behavioral theory. Otherwise, we are not able to come in a unity of result, unity of work. That means there is no group spirit. Immediately, the ultimate objective is not able to achieve by the organization or the peoples. Additionally, the problem of human relations in a moral and a social problem, and its main objective is to make man to man and man to group relations satisfactory. Integration between the goals and individual motives. That means here one problem is there, how to maintain the human relations in an organization. That means to development of the morale and social problem. That means where a group of persons or one employee is facing with a social problem, particularly caste, religion and also some extent of the rich, poor and also weak and also color, etc. and etc. all are identified. And its objective is man to man. That means always refers with man to other man and a man to group. One person, what is the role of his group? At what extent a man is having a responsibility to fulfillment of the one activity out of all the persons in the group, which can be recognized by the human relations. Human relations are satisfied, immediately output is more. That means productivity to be increased. Integration between the goals and individual, that means common goal and individual goal to be matched. Otherwise, we are not able to get the more service or job satisfaction out of the organizational policies. The second component in behavioral science, that means behavioral approach is behavioral science. That means here the behavior was identified and given importance. Behavior means including attitude. Behavior of the peoples in an organization is given a more importance. Behavior means religious, caste, individual, social, cultural and economical, political and his social and his family. All behavioral aspects are studied while implementing the behavioral science. Behavioral engaged in the 1950 and 1960, 10 years. During this period, behavioral science has given importance. That is, behavioral science and the study of organizational behavior merged in the 1950s and 1960s. It focused on applying conceptual and the analytical tools to the problem of understanding and predicting behavior in the workplace. That means at what extent the people are working with a understanding, coordinated manner is a one identification activity. Otherwise, we are not able to work with a coordinated manner. That is, the behavioral science approach has contributed to the study of management through its focus on personality, attitudes, values, motivation, group behavior, leadership, communication, and conflict, among other issues. Behavioral science approach is completely based on what is the movements of the workers. What is the movement of work environment? Generally, work environment is consisting of certain problems, certain issues. Issues are completely based on behavior of the employee while he is working in a one location. That means, what is his understanding capability? What is his attitude? What is his background? That means, what is his mental condition? He is emotional or decent? These all are relating to behavioral science. That means, each and every conflict is having a cause of lack of attitude. That means non-behavioral issues. The fourth era or approach of management is modern approach or modern era, modern theory of management after 1950. This is a present era where you are under modern approach. Nowadays, management has improved with a various angles, various positions. Today, the management has divided into certain branches for give the more importance for each and every area of management. For example, management, that is called a basic management. Derived other management called as financial management, marketing management, operating management, wastage management, cash management, financial management, strategic management, personal management, behavioral management. These are all comes in the modern approach. Now the management is having an important role in any organization. Why? Because nowadays management is a science which is having principles and standards. There are four approaches or four areas we will go to refer under this era. That means modern approach. The first one is quantitative approach. Nowadays, the management can also using quantitative principles, quantitative methods like math, statistics, and other issues regarding to natural and problematic and improvement of scientific application methods, formulas, equations. Why? Because to speed up the result, to get the accurate solution regarding to one issue or one problem. That is, the quantitative approach focus on improving decision making via the application of quantitative, statistical and mathematical techniques, mathematical formulas, technical formulas, technical equations, scientific issues, compositions, all are taken into consideration by the present management, which includes, it tells the managers to solve their problems with the help of the mathematical and statistical formulas. Some special formulas have been prepared to solve the managerial problems and issues, to speed up the solution, to speed up the organizational activities. Nowadays, a computerized knowledge can also used to maintain the better organizational development. This is also part and parcel of quantitative approach. That means using of computer formulas, computer software and hardware. The second approach in modern era is systems approach. Nowadays, there are large size of organizations, multi-production units, multinational units. Their output is very large in terms of finance and in terms of quantity. In such situation, the management is having an importance, that is systems. That means the whole system has divided into smaller systems. Each subsystem has given to and handed over to a specific experienced and respected individual to take the accountability to make the success of basic objective or goal. That is, the system approach focuses on understanding the organization as an open system that transfers into outputs. That means this is a one system which will goes to divided into subsystems. Why? Because given to each and every person for doing them with a appropriate manner. That is, the organization divided as smaller parts on the basis of managers to relate different specialists and parts of the company to one another. Already I said, different parts, smaller parts, each part has given a specialist or a part of the company to one another. One another means who is having a better experience in this area. Further, it can focus on the organization as a whole, its interaction with the environment, and its need to achieve equilibrium. That means all the smaller parts is given to respective individuals. Why? Because achieve the equilibrium without any disparities. The third approach in modern era is contingency or situational approach. That means management is nowadays using certain tools, resolutions or solutions with respect to situation. There is no uniform solution to meet all the situations. There is no uniform solution for each and every problem or each and every issue in the organization. Nowadays, management is giving the solution with respect to situation, not the same. That is called contingency or situational approach. That is, the contingency approach focuses on applying management principles and processes as detected by the unique characteristics of each situation. That is, it emphasizes that there is no one best way to manage, and that is depends on various situational factors. What I said is repeated here. No one best way. That means no one solution is not enough for giving solution to all the problems, because problem is different, issue is different, issue length is different. So immediately this solution is also different. Solution is provided situation aspect, such as the external environment, technology, organizational characteristics of manager and characteristics of the subordinate. These all are get together or studied together if you want to go to give this solution. Solution is changed according to organizational environment, according to technology, according to organizational characteristics, small size and medium. Characteristics of manager. All the managers are not having a equal importance or equal experience, equal knowledge. Characteristics of subordinate. The size of the subordinate is different. Immediately, issue is different. The solution is also needed to different. Is called each solution on the situation. That is, single style of leadership cannot be applied to all the situation. That means there are four type of leadership: authoritarian leadership, free reign leadership, democratic leadership, participative leadership, like that. These one is not applicable to all the situations. Different will be applicable in different ways. That is called contingency approach. The next component in modern approach is information technology approach. Nowadays, information technology using for rendering and procurement of the data, for making of a internet help, online information is taken over by the principals. Is more important. After 1980, it is having an important role. That is, by the late of 1980, the impact of information technology on the internet began to influence how managers manage work and people. That is, two economists reports that the impact of the internet on the business is similar to the impact of electricity at the beginning of the 20th century. That means here information technology is taken into consideration. That is, implementation of software and hardware. This is used with the help of the internet. The internet is the impact of electricity. That means with the help of a mechanical device, that is called a computer. The data was procured through internet. A large data was taken into consideration by the internet. Nowadays, it is a very much better tool to gathering and rendering of the information. An example of the leading edge approach to management is evidence-based management. That means nowadays, evidence management is having a very much important. Why? Because one incident should be need of a evidence, maybe a practical evidence or a theoretical evidence. The fifth approach under modern era of management is universal approach. Nowadays, management is not limited to a one area or one field or one state. It is a common philosophy which can be identified, which can be applied anywhere. The rules, regulations and policies using in one place which will be goes applicable anywhere. There is no any limited policies or consisting of a limited area is completely omitted. Nowadays, each and rule, each and every policy, procedure or thought, ideas, dynamic nature, all are putting together with respect to global level. That is, management emphasizes on the universally of management principles. Why? Because nowadays universally accepted principles is there. Like that, standards are there. Accordingly, each and every organization is taking a certain precaution or solution. With application of uniform management principle with universal standards to uniform. It is a process approach, assumes all organizations require the same rational management processes. Core management process remains the same. Regardless of the purpose of the organization, the management process can reduce to a set of separate functions and related principles and conclusions. That means one decision is taken in one place, it is applicable to anywhere. There is no different universal approach. Thank you.